What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours, where the main topic has just been departures. We are now into the final 48 hours of the transfer window. Turn those notifications on because it's going to be an absolutely crazy 48 hours for Barcelona. We of course have updates on the Joao Felix saga, which apparently Barcelona are analyzing heavily, and we'll be talking with Atletico Madrid in negotiations very soon. We have updates on the liberal football finance economic lever payment and how Joao Laporta could be giving up his own money again to help save Barcelona. But like I said, the main talk over the past 24 hours has been departures. We have an update on the departure of Clement Lenglet to Aston Villa, Garcia to Girona, Abde wanting to leave to either Osasuna, Betis, or Sevilla, and Ansu Fati, the closest departure right now to Tottenham Hotspur on a loan deal. We also have an update on Marcos Alonso situation, which of course will end up staying. Update on how Barcelona see Lamine Yamal, and Robert Lewandowski coming out in the media attacking Xavi for his system, saying that he should be playing wingers instead of midfielders. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 24 hours. And the only player who Barcelona had been linked with is, of course, Joao Felix. Are you surprised? I am not. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona are internally checking how to make the Joao Felix deal happen with the FFP to try and fit the deal in the structure and arrive in the next days in conversation with Atletico Madrid, prepared with a concrete structure to make the agreement happen. So Barcelona are analyzing internally whether or not they have a chance of signing Joao Felix or not. Now, Mateo Merito has come out saying that Joan Laporta and Jorge Mendes are doing everything possible so that Joao Felix ends up at Barcelona. I don't know why Joan Laporta is trying so hard to get a player who is not really needed but could be needed. For me, it's a very weird situation that the president is pushing for a player when he has no influence on how the team plays or lined up, and it comes down to Xavi. And right now, Xavi and Deco, the rumor is, don't really want Joao Felix, but they will, take him if they get him, but they are not like strongly against it, but just don't think he is quite needed. Now, Mateo Merito has also came out saying that Joao Felix has made the decision to move to Saudi Arabia if Barcelona cannot reach an agreement to sign him. There have been some rumors about Liverpool and Benfica being interested, but apparently Felix will go to Saudi if he does not join Barcelona. And finally, again, Fabrizio Romano came out in the late hours last night saying that Barcelona are preparing the operation for Joao Felix. The board will try their best to make it work with FFP to sign the Portuguese player in the next 48 hours. And of course, is deadline day. So, like we've been talking about for the past month, this deal will go out until the final seconds of the window, and looks like we are here at this point. Again, Joao Felix's signing does depend a lot on departures, because if we have the players that we currently have, Joao Felix is not needed whatsoever, and the Barcelona do understand that. They're preparing his arrival in the event someone does leave. Well, of course, we'll talk about that later on, whether it's Rafinha, Abde, Ansu Fati. If someone does go, I would agree to bring Joao Felix. I do hope the club do a very good operation for him, not pay a loan fee, pay a good salary, no amortization, just simple loan, maybe even checking a buy option if needs be, but I wouldn't make that buy option mandatory in any way, shape, or form. But of course, that will develop in the next few days. So we'll wait and see what happens. Again, Joao Felix is on Barcelona's radar. We are, analyzing the signing, trying to fit it into the FFP structure, and apparently negotiations with Atletico Madrid will be taking place in the next 48 hours. Now, it's pretty well known that if Xavi can decide on what player to sign for Barcelona, if he can pick a profile, it would be an attacking midfielder. Fran Martinez came out saying that Xavi's main objective is to sign an attacking midfielder, but the signing would only be based on performance and quality, not just signing for the sake of it. And that's why we haven't been linked really with anyone else. Of course, we're linked with Bernardo Silva. That fell through. We're linked with Lo Celso, but now he's going to be staying at Tottenham, as Edu Gaston confirms, of course, the number one source in regards to Argentinian news. So Xavi wants an attacking midfielder, but the profile out there right now is not there. They don't want to just sign someone just for the sake of it. They want to sign the right player, and that right player isn't really on the market, and that's why we haven't been linked with one recently. But you never know, in the last 24 hours, some player, some name might come up that might intrigue Xavi, might bring up his interest, but for now, there's not really anyone out there, and that's why we're being heavily linked with Joao Felix, because Joao Felix is going to be a body. He'll come in better than nothing, essentially, from Xavi's perspective. So wait and see if we get linked with any career midfielder. That could be a little bit of hope of not signing Joao Felix. But again, there's not really anyone out there that Barcelona are really keen on, and also no one that Xavi has given the push or the green light for either. Now, in regards to Barcelona bringing new players in, signing them, and even registering them in the league, the economic lever that was activated a few weeks ago, money needs to arrive as soon as possible. The money from Liberal Football Finance has not been coming in at a suitable time for Barcelona. Apparently 60 million was agreed. They paid 20, but Barcelona is still waiting on the other 40 million euros. Now, Jaime Miguel from AS came out saying that Barcelona are in trouble with the Leader of Germany fund. A few days before the transfer window ends, they are considering other options. One of the options is Joan Laporta, yet again, in back-to-back summers, putting up his own money as guarantee of funds to make the registration a reality. Mundo Deportivo is reporting that the deadline for the German company to pay 20 million euros to Barcelona is on Thursday tomorrow. The club is working with an American investor as an alternative, but Laporta and Treasurer Olive providing a bank guarantee is not ruled out. The club's motto right now is calmness. Now, Tony Juan Martí also confirms that, saying that Barcelona are transmitting calmness. They insinuate that some deadlines could pass and thus they had to work on alternative options that may have been advanced in parallel. This is perhaps delaying the Cancelo arrival by a few hours. Again, Cancelo is done deal. Documents already exchanged and everything, just now waiting for the final green light from the FFP side. Now, Sport are saying that Joan Laporta and Ferran Olive are ready to present a bank guarantee of around 30 million euros to solve all the registration problems, including Cancelo, if the money from the Germany company is not received on time. There are also talks of an American investment fund as well. So essentially, the club need to get this money in as soon as possible. Now, Laporta would not be giving up his money. He just showing that Liga, look, I have the money in the event the German company's money does not come in on time, so let us proceed. And if we don't get the money, I'll give you my money, and if we do, we'll give you the money. That's essentially what Joan Laporta is trying to do. He did this last summer with, of course, Jules Koundé, the 11 million famous euros that he paid himself to register Jules Koundé. That, of course, was paid back to him later on by the other economic labor payments that were a tad bit behind. But look, it's clear that Joan Laporta, he loves the club. He is a culé. He is the best president that we've ever had. He's out there putting up his own money, his own sacrifice to make the objectives of the club a reality, which begs me the question why he's really desperate to sign Joao Felix, but that's not the case itself. So Laporta putting up his own money in the event Barcelona do not get these funds they need from the German economic lever, but looks like that fund will be coming in. Apparently they owe us 20 million today on Wednesday, and then 20 million on Thursday to come, get all that 60 million in. It could be on Friday. In the end, the club do have other avenues, and again, they transmit calmness. The money will come in and everyone will be registered. But again, it cannot be ignored that our own president is willing to give up his own money to make Barcelona's objectives in the final few days of the transfer window a reality. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. The first player who everyone, when it comes to culé, sporting sector, Barcelona board, who can all agree has to leave as soon as possible is Clement Lenglet. He is the only player who everyone agrees that he has to leave. Now, the previous reports were that he was going to be in advanced negotiations with Sevilla on a potential return over a 2-year loan deal. Of course, Lenglet has 3 years left on his Barcelona contract. Early yesterday morning, Joao Felix came out saying that Lenglet is leaving Barcelona for the Premier League, but the destination isn't Spurs. Fabrizio Romano then beat him to it. He came out with an exclusive saying it is Aston Villa who are weighing up the move for Clement Lenglet. There are multiple options available, but Barcelona are aware of Aston Villa's interest, waiting for developments. In any case, Barcelona feels sure that Lenglet will leave. He then followed up by a report saying that Aston Villa and Barcelona are negotiating. Talks are on. So Aston Villa, according to reports, there could be a transfer fee as well, but the general consensus is that Lenglet does have now a lot of offers on the table. Samuel Marsden from ESPN has come out saying that Clement Lenglet has offers from Spain, England, and France, and is expected to make his decision today. Of course, today was yesterday. We're now in tomorrow. Still no decision yet. A loan is most likely, but it'll also depend on the club he picks. Now, if he wants to go to Sevilla, it'll be a loan. There's some talks of Betis, that'll be a loan. If he goes to Aston Villa, it'll most likely be a permanent transfer. Now, Sport have come out saying that Barcelona did offer Lenglet the letter of freedom, however, the player has rejected it. Lyon and Sevilla are among the clubs who have asked about the Frenchman, and the club would secure at least a 50% sell-on clause if they get rid of him permanently. Now, the fact that Clement Lenglet rejected the letter of freedom just shows that he does not care about where he goes. He wants to get paid his Barcelona contract, and that's going to make his departure very, very difficult. Give me a lot of Martin Braithwaite vibes in that sense. Now, Relevo have come out saying that Aston Villa, of course, have started negotiations with Barcelona for Clement Lenglet on a permanent transfer. Sevilla were interested in recent days, and Lenglet welcomed going there, but due to FFP problems, they were only willing to pay around 30 to 35% of his salary, which did not satisfy Barcelona. Now, Sevilla's former sporting director Monchi could take Lenglet to England. 30% coverage of Lenglet's salary. I'd rather just keep him in the squad. You're paying 60% of him. I'd rather keep him here just in case. We're paying him. Might as well. We're gonna pay him to play somewhere else. It's 30. Oh, thank God the club didn't do this. Now, again, Fabrizio Romano and Gerard Mayer have come out saying the negotiations are ongoing between Barcelona and Aston Villa for Clement Lenglet. Let's hope there is a decision today. It could be even before I upload this video. But again, Lenglet has offers on the table. He will make his decision very soon, and he will leave Barcelona. Let's just hope it's a permanent move in any sense. I don't care if we get a transfer fee. I don't care if it's a letter of freedom or we get a sell-on clause or percent of future sale. I just want Lenglet off the books permanently. I think a loan would be detrimental, be very disappointing, but again, we'll have to wait and see what the final outcome is. But again, Lenglet, 1000% is leaving Barcelona. Now, another center back that could end up leaving the club during the final few days of the transfer window is Eric Garcia, with Mateo Morita reporting that Eric Garcia's move to Girona is beginning to take shape. Talks have been ongoing for some days now, although Girona themselves are not too optimistic about the move. Barcelona believe the operation is very feasible. It would be a loan, as Xavi does not want to lose Garcia on a permanent move. The player himself is not adverse to the move, and as it could be a good opportunity for him to accumulate minutes that he does not have at Barcelona due to high competition in his position. Now, yes, there is competition, but again, I'll say this for the 1,000th time over the past few days. Araujo, injury prone. Christensen's at the doctor's office every other day. And Nico Martinez is just coming off the back of a big injury. So I feel like Eric Garcia's analysis of his current situation is done very, very poorly. Now, Tony Juan Martin came out saying that Eric Garcia has met with Xavi in the last few hours and has been clear about his will of leaving on loan. He likes the Girona option. However, Barcelona are currently skeptical about letting him leave. Xavi believes that he can help throughout the season, and Girona can only offer a loan, with Barcelona paying a large part of his salary, so it doesn't seem much help economically either. The relationship also between Barcelona and Girona isn't that great after the Romeo deal. The Real Betis are also interested. Apparently, the Real Betis are going to sell Luis Felipe to Saudi Arabia, so they will need another center back. Again, I don't know what's going on with these Barcelona players desperate to leave because of lack of minutes. We're only 3 games into the season, playing once a week. It's very, very odd. And again, Garcia wanting to play minutes is fine. I think the club would let him go out on loan because he's been very professional in the situation at Barcelona, which is completely fine with me. But when we're paying him to play for a direct rival in La Liga, for me, it just doesn't sit well with me, in my opinion. But there has been somewhat of a turn in the Eric Garcia saga, and that is Xavi has stepped in. Candacer come out saying that Xavi is trying to convince Eric Garcia not to leave, as he also told him he's going to be needed for the entire season. A loan weakens the squad and also does not help with FFP if Barcelona had to pay part of his salary. Miguel then came out saying that Xavi is blocking the exit of Eric Garcia. Gabriel Sanz and Fernando Martinez from Deportivo came out saying that Xavi has told Eric Garcia that he's necessary. Barcelona will not send him out on loan in any case. They'd only consider a sale if a good offer comes in, and that's the stance where I agree upon. If he really wants to leave, bring us an offer. Us loaning you out to a direct rival in La Liga and also paying you while doing that does not make sense. You want to get some minutes, that's fine, but we need you. We're good. You don't know what's going to happen with Inigo Martinez. Christensen gets subbed off every other game. Araujo was made out of broken glass. You're going to get minutes. It's not like you've been sitting on the bench for 3 months. Like, I get it. I think if this comes January, same situation, I let him go out alone. Fair enough. You stayed for 3 months. Nothing changed. Go play. No problem whatsoever. But when you're upset with your current situation now, when you have been playing the first 3 opening games of La Liga, and you're going to get significant minutes in the next few weeks, because of course we do have a center back issue, doesn't just make sense to me. Now, Mateo Morita came out saying that talks are advanced between Eric Garcia and Girona. Eric wants to join them and he's pressured to move so that he can have more minutes. However, he is told right now that Xavi is not allowing him to leave. So it looks like Xavi will block this exit. I think Eric Garcia is content with that. He'll not be upset. I think his stance is that, look, I want to go out and play. If I can, great. If not, I have no problem with studying. Of course, he's a very professional player, and I think he's a player that we do end up need. I know last season wasn't the best, but I think he's done very well in preseason. He's done very well the few minutes that he has played in La Liga, and I think he will become very important come October, November time when we're playing every other day, and Araujo is going to be out. Christensen, you never know what's going to happen with him, and Inigo Martinez is a big risk. So I think keeping Eric Garcia and pushing for him staying is absolutely vital, but we'll wait and see. Again, anything can happen. I think if Eric Garcia really pushes for this move, the club and Xavi will let him go. But I think he's just asking to leave, and we say no, he's content with staying. I think he'll end up keeping his place. So let's see what happens to Eric Garcia, but again, he is tempted by departure from Barcelona, which right now the club and Xavi don't want to do. Now, another player who also wants to leave Barcelona, and he wants to leave Barcelona by any means necessary on a permanent or a loan move, is Abde. Like, I am shocked. Like, I'm sitting here yesterday on Twitter refreshing, and every second there's a player that wants to leave. We're in the final 48 hours, and we got players that are not happy, players that want to leave. It's mayhem. Now, yesterday morning, Joao Felix did report a Saudi Arabia club offered around 15 to 20 million euros to Barcelona for Abde, plus 13 million euro net salary for the player. But not only did Barcelona reject it, but also Abde rejected that opportunity. Following that, Radivo came out saying that Abde is an option for Sevilla if Luis Ocampos leaves. Apparently, Luis Ocampos now is set to join Fulham in the Premier League. In the case of an exit, Barcelona would prefer a sale, but the player and his entourage would prefer a loan. Again, if Abde is going to leave on loan, you have to renew his contract. You cannot lose that value for another season. I understand apparently the rumor is that Abde wants to stay in Spain. He does not want to go to another country, which is fine. Again, Gabriel Santos Deportivo came out saying that Xavi does not want Abde to leave. Now, there is more reports. Hanina Codes from Cope came out saying that loan offers from La Liga clubs are being considered for Abde. If the player leaves, he would only contemplate staying in Spain. Real Betis, Sevilla, Osasuna are interested. Xavi wants him, but they do not rule him out leaving either. Sport then came out saying that Abde wants to leave Barcelona. The Moroccan player has made a decision and requested an exit from the technical secretariat. I mean, look, 3 games in, you've come off the bench against Getafe and Cadiz. You did not play against Villarreal. I mean, my goodness gracious, we're acting like we've, 75% of the league is done and you haven't played at all. Like, these players, I think Xavi said this perfectly in his press conference the other day. These players need to realize there's no more starting role, no more subs, because there's so many games and so many minutes and so many hours of football that not one single player can play every single second, every single game. Barcelona is also a very injury-prone club, so we need depth on the bench to come in suitably to provide competition and, more importantly, coverage on those starting players. Now, again, Gabriel Santos Deportivo came out saying that Sevilla have asked for the loan again of Abde following the likely departure of Luis Ocampos, but Barcelona has let him know that they count on him and that they will only consider an offer if it's to buy him. Xavi also does not want Abde to leave. I think the club now are at a point where they have to stay firm. You have to say to the player, no, you can't just bend over for all the player's wishes unless, the departure is needed or a good offer comes in. And of course, these situations can change. We can say no to Abde, he'll be upset. He'll play against Osasuna this weekend and Real Madrid in the Clasico at the end of October, and he'll be happy. So the club have to, take some stance. And I would stay very firm on Abde that he cannot leave. We cannot lose a winger of his profile. Yes, Lamine Yamal is playing well. He's only 16. What happens if he has an exam that he has to go to and misses a game or something? Like, it's so risky for the club to lose their squad depth, and that's the key. Squad depth now in football is imperative. It is so important because there are so many games. Players get injured, fatigue, lack of form, lack of confidence. So many things can hit you left, right, and center, and the club cannot risk losing that. We have a big season coming up. We want to retain the league title, push in the Champions League. We cannot lose these type of players. I think hopefully the club will stay firm on their desire whether it comes to Abde or Eric Garcia. Look, a permanent offer comes in, we'll think about it, analyze it, just to loan you out to direct rivals. Again, Sevilla, you want to strengthen one of our rivals in the league. We got to still go to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. This will have to come to the Luis Ocampos Stadium. Luis Montjuic Olympic Stadium. Like, we're going to strengthen they put the clause in where the player can play against us, then fair enough, but this does not benefit Barcelona whatsoever. It does not benefit us financially or, in terms of the squad as well. So, we'll wait and see what Abde, but very similar to the situation of Eric Garcia. Having the club want the player to stay and will only contemplate letting him go out on a permanent transfer, and they will not consider any loan moves. But the player that you could say at the moment is the closest to leaving Barcelona alongside Clement Lenglet is Ansu Fati. Now, of course, in yesterday's video, I told you guys that Ansu Fati was going to stay barring a last-second surprise. and looked like that last second surprise has arrived. The news broke from Mundo Deportivo, and they came out saying that Ansu Fati is now open to listening to offers. Chelsea, Tottenham, and Borussia Dortmund are firm options. Jorge Mendes will work hard to find a club that satisfies the interests of all parties. The formula would be a loan. What I'm going to do is go through all the reports and give you guys my opinion. Fabrizio Romano and Matteo Marito both came out confirming this, saying that Chelsea and Tottenham are two concrete options on the table for Ansu Fati, a situation to watch out for in the final few days of the transfer window. Hanina Kodes from Cope came out saying that yesterday, Bordi Fati and Jorge Mendes met in Sevilla again, and Ansu Fati has reconsidered now and is willing to leave Barcelona. He has offered from Chelsea and Tottenham, and as of today, there is a 75% chance of him leaving. Having Miguel from AS came out saying that Xavi will not prevent the exit of Ansu Fati as long as there's the option for him to return, and that seems like the general consensus. The club don't want to sell Ansu Fati. Worst case scenario, they will let him go out on loan, and that way they still have him as a Barcelona player, because again, the club still have immense amount of confidence in Ansu Fati's ability, him as a player. It's just that he may not get any minutes, and that's why he wants to leave. By the way, Ansu and Abde have been flip-flopping like a bunch of fish over the past 2 weeks. 1 minute they want to stay, then leave, stay, then leave, stay, then leave, like holy shite. Now, Joao Felix came out last night saying that Barcelona do not want to lose Ansu Fati. That's why if he were to leave, he'd most likely join Tottenham Hotspur, who are offering a low move. Apparently Chelsea bidding around 30 to 40, which is not at the valuation that Barcelona want, but Tottenham are offering a simple loan deal. Now, I really don't want to help Tottenham because they kind of shafted us this transfer window. They haven't given us Giovani Lo Celso. They haven't taken Clement Lenglet off us. We gave them the freaking Juan Gamper match, but they haven't given us anything in return. If Barcelona are smart, they maybe can, do a loan for loan. We'll give you Ansu, give us Giovani Lo Celso. I think that would be a very fair operation. But on Ansu, look, as long as I kind of agree with the club, as long as we don't lose him on a permanent move, I wouldn't be too upset. I think him going out on loan is a big risk. I think if Ansu Fati leaves Barcelona, I don't think he'll do well, because we've seen a lot of situation with La Masia players who do well at Barcelona because we have that trust, we have that encouragement, we have that belief. When he goes to Tottenham, he plays 2 games, all the fans will be chanting to get him out of the squad. So he won't have that care that we do for him. I would keep Ansu. I think he has a great chance. I think, again, he has a better chance of starting for Barcelona than he does Tottenham. I think the only reason why he doesn't have right now for Barcelona is because Xavi's fucking stuck his mind with his goddamn freaking foreign midfield, which hopefully I think he will end up changing. But I think Ansu still has a great chance to get into this first team. But if he wants to leave, fair enough to him. I wouldn't be too upset. Again, looks like it will be Ansu Fati leaving on loan, then Joao Felix coming in on loan to replace him. It's not the be-all and end-all in my opinion. I think the main thing is that we bring in Joao Felix on a good move, Ansu Fati goes out on a good loan, and we keep Abde as well. Then I think, we're not strengthening ourselves and we're not weakening ourselves. I think Joao Felix is a good player, but I think Ansu Fati is better off the left. But if Xavi wants to play this inverted left forward thing, that maybe Joao Felix can do a job. We'll wait and see with Ansu. Again, right now, he is leaning again more towards the exit door. Of course, he's been saying this whole entire summer that he wants to stay, he wants to stay, he wants to stay. But now, all of a sudden, that door is opened up from his agent and his father. And it looks like right now, Tottenham is the most likely destination on a season-long loan. But we'll wait and see. In any case, the club will not sell him unless it's a very, very good offer, because the club believe in Ansu Fati and want to keep on hold of him for the future. Not just the club, Xavi as well. Now, despite all the rumors about all the players leaving, we do have some concrete reports about a player staying. It's Marcos Alonso. I mean, out of all the players. Anyways, Luis Rojo from Marca firstly broke the news saying that Marcos Alonso is not interested in a move to Manchester United and will stay at Barcelona. Christian Folk from, of course, Sport Bild in Germany confirmed this, saying that Marcos Alonso will not be leaving as Xavi does not want him to leave Barcelona. And finally, Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Marcos Alonso has informed the Barcelona dressing room that he's not considering leaving and intends to fulfill his contract, which ends next year. He's not considering listening to Manchester United's offer, at least for now. And again, Manchester United have now found out their concrete left-back option, and it is Marc Cucurella of Chelsea. If that deals fall through, they may come back and push in for Alonso, but that deal is very advanced. Cucurella has already agreed personal terms with the United. It's now about fine-tuning the deal with Chelsea. So, not only do Manchester United not want him anymore, but Marcos Alonso wants to stay as well. Look, he's going to stay for 1 more year. I doubt Barcelona will renew his contract. They shouldn't unless he's getting paid peanuts. Like I'm talking Sergio Roberto, Barca Athletic wages peanuts, but Xavi wants to stay. He wants to stay. And look, with Eric Garcia's future a bit in doubt, I think keeping Marcos Alonso is important. He does all right at center back. Of course, at left back, he's absolutely dreadful. But I seen him put a masterclass at the Santiago Bernabeu at center back. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really, too upset about this. I think selling Alonso this summer would have been absolutely brilliant. More important to get his wages off the book as well. But stays 1 more year, just 1 more year of dealing with Alonso, and then we'll move on from it. So it looks like Alonso will stay at Barcelona, barring the Cucurella deal falling through, and Man United pushing for Alonso. And again, Xavi does want the player to stay. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is to talk about some topical news surrounding Barcelona outside the transfer window. Firstly, is on the hype around Lamine Yamal, with Alex Pentel from Liga reporting that from Barcelona, they say they haven't seen a talent like Lamine Yamal since Leo Messi. I remember these exact same reports came out about, guess who? Ansu Fati. So, look, the hype train is well and truly there. Lamine Yamal is at a point where he's basically kicking out Abde and Ansu out the door. He's that good. And of course, with Dembele's exit, he's kind of cemented his spot in the first team, and fair enough to him. Of course, when Dembele left, Xavi said we have to replace Dembele with equal quality, and he might give that trust to Lamine Yamal, who has done very, very well at the start of the season. Wouldn't rush into it too much. Looks like he's going to be picking Spain to represent as his country. He will be probably going out for Spain international duty in September. He's a player that you have to nurture. You have to give him a chance. He might have a few bad games coming up, and you have to support him through that. But of course, he plays, well every single week. Then we've got a gem in our hands. But look, I've seen the story so many times. You have to wait and see how he does. Wait and see when the going gets tough, how he comes out of it. But again, the club do have a lot of trust, and they see Lamine Yamal as the next gem of Barcelona since Leo Messi. Now, the final piece of news that I want to quickly touch upon is Robert Lewandowski's interview. He's doing an interview yesterday, and he was asked about Barcelona's system and lack of attacking identity. And this is the words of our star striker, the player on the biggest wage of Barcelona, one of the best strikers of our generation. He came out saying this: "We are Barcelona, and we are supposed to not only win, but also play attacking football. That hasn't been the case lately. So we have been working to create more chances in games. When we see players like Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres enter, two players who think and attack, you see more chances." That is Robert Lewandowski taking a dig at Xavi for starting for midfield and not starting wingers beside him. He's absolutely spot on. Absolutely. Again, I reiterate this for the millionth time. The 4 midfield only works when you come up against big teams where there's only going to be 1 or 2 goals in it, and you're going to be battling out based on possession, midfield battle, and giving your other opponent very, very, low amount of chances to create. Why are we playing that against Getafe, a team who's parking the bus counterattacking? Playing against Cadiz, who's going to be parking the bus counterattacking us? Villarreal, there's an argument for that, but I think that Villarreal are not at that level of last season where you should be afraid of them. Xavi's lineup selection against Osasuna this Sunday is going to be absolutely monumental. If he picks the 4 midfield again, he's going to get pelters. And if we perform poorly again, he's going to get pelters. And if we lose, on top of him picking that shite formation, we might even get people calling for his head. He has to go with the Barcelona way, 4-3-3, and that is the way to play the attacking identity that Barcelona have. He needs to not be conservative and needs to be able to open up his space, and that way we don't have to see Lamine Yamal get the ball and we pray. That's what we've been doing the past few days, relying on a goddamn 16-year-old to create chances for Barcelona. Wait and see. But again, Lewandowski speaking out on Xavi's system, very, very hiddenly, that we need more attackers on the pitch to create more chances. His play is very, he's losing his ability to play because he said in the interview that he keeps dropping back to create chances for himself, and it's difficult for him to play and score goals. So we'll wait and see what Xavi decides, of course, this weekend against Osasuna, but Lewandowski making his mind very, very clear on the current system that Barcelona do play. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to see, of course, is your thoughts on Joao Felix coming in. Would you sign him or not on loan? What would you do in terms of the loan conditions? And would you bring him in if we do end up losing a forward, or if not? Second, your thoughts on essentially or all the departures on Ansu Fati. Would you let him go out alone? Would you keep him? Abde, would you keep him or let him go? Lenglet, of course, we're all gonna let him go, but would you let him go on a loan, or would you force for a permanent or letter of freedom transfer? Garcia as well, would you let him go out on loan or not? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. We're in for an absolutely huge next 48 hours of the transfer window, so make sure you put those notification bells on as well to get all the updates, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Yo soy del Barça.